Oh boy. 42, answer 1. Look at the face on this guy. That's right. This face is a mess. Straight up. Been messing with this trash. Classic. Classic 42, answer 1 behavior. What are you talking about tonight? I'll talk about anything. I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs. What do you want to talk about? Classic. Classic 42, answer 1 behavior. What are you talking about tonight? Where do babies come from? We don't need to talk about that on this stream. This is a live stream, you see. This is what all the cool kids are doing now. They come from storks. Getting this set up was a real pain in the ass, by the way. And I'm still not sure if I'm even got it going right. How was your Thanksgiving? Getting this set up is a real pain in the ass, by the way. I'm still not sure if I've even got it going right. I'm just gonna spend a lot of my time just sitting here, I think. How was your Thanksgiving? I'm listening to myself now. Flagging that. I'm reporting that. Put user in timeout. I can do that. Interesting. Let's go to your channel. Brandon Sanderson? Must be a big Brandon Sanderson fan. Oh, I'm tired, man. Ah. Hey, dude, what's going on, bud? I'm trying out streaming. That's what all the cool kids are doing now. Tired. It's been a long day, full of eating lots of food. What you been up to? I bet it is. What is it? What time is it? Because over here it's only like 7 o'clock in the PM. Got one of those late night Thursdays, I guess, over there in Germany. Oof. What you doing up so late? It's about 12 o'clock, man. That's about as much as I can make it anymore. And I know I'll feel the... God dang. I know I'll take damage from it. But Thanksgiving, man, filled myself full. Jeez, just got home from work. At 1 o'clock. No, it's Thanksgiving over here, man. So I ate so much food, it was ridiculous. Didn't even bother eating dinner. Yeah, setting this up was not fun, man. I've been working on it pretty much all day with my limited brain power, trying to figure out how it works. Would you work like second shift or something like that? What time you go in? I'm hoping that as I do more of these, I'll get more and more used to doing it. Been playing Diablo 2. Nice. You been playing that on PC or console or what? I've tore me up tons of hours on Diablo, man. 1, 2, and 3. Looking forward to 4. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I played on Xbox, and It's good. I mean, I tore the hell out of 3. I mean, I played hundreds and hundreds of hours of 3. But Diablo 2 always have a great place in my heart, man. A real incredible place. I mean, I've spent lots of hours on that back on the PC, and I like what they did with the resurrected version. It's good. I mean, going from 3 to back to 2, you have to kind of get back in the mindset. But man, I think I'm playing like a paladin or something. I'm playing a couple characters, necromancer and paladin, and I'm like level 85 or something, and like I just can't get any drops that are worth a shit. They're just terrible. I give it my best, but just bad luck, I guess. I haven't really tried it since their last big update that added the new rune words. What class you play mostly? 'Cause I always like the Amazon Paladin. Man, really all of them are great. I've never really played much into the Assassin or the Druid for some reason. I never really got into those as much. Never got them real far. But I think I got pretty much one of every class for Diablo 2 Resurrected. Yeah, I hope people like this live stream stuff. I don't know. Give me something to do, something to talk about. Maybe show some stuff off. Talk a little role playing games, maybe video games like this or whatever, board games. Show everybody some of the shit I got around here. Hope it's not too laggy. You let me know if you see it being all laggy. Not that I can do much about it though. And what do you do again? I can't remember. Cause that's some crazy hours. So you like switch back and like on and off. Okay, good. 2:30 to 10:30 at night. Whew. Yeah, I used to work second shift. I used to work third shift. I worked every shift. Brutal. Oh, okay. Cool, cool. You been playing any role playing games or anything? Any other video games? Because honestly, man, I've got tons of video games on my backlog, and it's almost futile. Try to go back and tackle them. I just make small dents in them when I can. Then I get hung up on a game like Diablo 2 or 3 or like Fallout 76, and I spend hundreds of hours on there. And after a while, I'm like, well, I could have spent hundreds of hours beating a whole bunch of other games. Why did I spend, hundreds and hundreds on this one game? So kind of wasting my time, I guess. I don't know. You get stuck into a game, you get really enjoying it, and then you don't really want to put it down. But this is cool. I mean, as long as I got it working, up and working, should be neat. Diablo 2, I'm just started with a Barbarian recently. I'm on level 14. Barbarians are great, man. That Whirlwind, awesome. Always great. Just a staple character. I think it looks good too. I know Digital Foundry, like their video for it, they were like, they didn't really think that they enjoyed like the new graphics for it, but I thought it was perfect. Just exactly what it I expected the update to look, even better. I try to go back and do the legacy graphics, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I gotta I gotta play the new stuff. But I can always play it if I want it, like on the older graphics, since that's what pretty much the PC has. Any other games that you're big into, or like you have been in the past that you like? 'Cause I'm a big Fallout man myself. 3, New Vegas, 4, 76. Some of the earlier games, like 1. I'm typing on my tablet. I am a bit slow. No problem, man. I'm just glad somebody here to talk to. I see other people doing streams, and I'm like, well, seems like a lot of work, but I figured out. slowly. I mean, people put a lot of effort in this with all like the graphics and stuff on the screen. It's a ton of work. I looked into how to do that too. I mean, I don't think people realize all the work that goes into making videos, especially ones where they have a bunch of graphics or video, animations and stuff like that. Incredible. Maybe we'll get some more people in here at some point. Well, I really like Horizon Zero Dawn. Yes, I played that, and I never finished it, but I really enjoyed it too. One of my problems is that my PS4 sounds like it's going to take off. I mean, like it's on the runway, and it's about to just it's in high gear, and that thing I've got to play with pretty much with headphones on because it's so loud. Airplane taking off in my room, it's unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get a PS5 since I got the Xbox Series X, but plus I think the system, I might get it down the road once they make it not so huge and so garishly weird looking. It's like the most abstract, pretentious looking system. I know it's a good system, but man, I didn't like the look of it at all when they showed it what it was going to look like. But I play a bunch of other stuff, retro and newer games. Yeah, man. You played Vampire Survivors? You tried that game out yet? I don't know if you've got a PC or not. I'm not sure if it's on PlayStation. But I've been playing Vampire Survivors, something fierce. It's an awesome game. Very unique. Even my little girls can play it. I mean, you only use one stick and that's it. I'm looking forward to this Witcher 3 next gen update. I've played that game like 3 or 4 times. Played it on PS4 and it made my system again sound like a rocket going off. I started up 2 other times on Xbox and I get like 20 hours in it and for some reason I can't seem to get back into it. So I'm going to give it another shake. I know it's beloved by a lot of people. So I'm going to really give it a good try when this update comes out. And I've been wanting to get some of the From Software games, the newer ones. I want to get Elden Ring when it goes on sale. I'm a big when it goes on sale guy. Yeah, Vampire Survivors is killer, man. It's the best $5 I've spent on a video game in a long time. Of course, I love Castlevania. It's probably my favorite video game series like of the old days. So seeing all those cool Castlevania sprites are just awesome. Good music, really cryptic, a lot of hidden stuff in it. Cool to unlock without going online and finding out how to unlock the stuff. Trying to do it yourself, like naturally. But if you got a PC, I guess you could always pick it up there too. I'm certain it's not too taxing on a system. I'm probably going to get a new computer, I hope, sometime maybe next year. This thing is like 12 years old. It was a beast when I first got it, but now it's rough. Yeah, I love me some Castlevania. So we got somebody else in here. No? It says 3 watching. There's a bit of lag about whenever I get information. Drunken Delver. No, man, I just started up right now today. I've been trying to look on it. It's Thanksgiving, which people don't expect much for you to do anything. So I was like, well, shoot. I'm going to figure out how to do this live streaming. And it was much more complicated for me with my dull brain to figure out. So, yeah, thanks for joining. We're just talking video games here, as you can see from the chat. That Olaf there is playing some Diablo 2. I'm a big Diablo fan. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. But this computer's 12 years old, maybe even 13. I can't even remember. I got it to play Lord of the Rings online. It was like a $2,000. It's like a Falcon Northwest or Northwest Falcon, whatever the hell it's called. It was a killer system. But now after 13 years, man, it's just it struggles. It really does. MS Word even crashes on me when I work on Pocket Space RPG. It'll just crash for some reason. I guess I'm pushing it too much. But I'm probably get a new computer next year. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but my monitor is actually a TV. So it's like a 36-inch, 38, 40-inch TV. So like that's why it looks like I'm looking all around because I am. But no, there's some good games out there. There's too many actually. That's one of the problems. Just like with anything else, like role playing games, video games, board games, card games. Good lord. See this Dark Souls back here? Where is it? This way. I got a buddy who works in the industry, and I will change over to my PC just a minute. Yeah, no problem, bud. Just get all these board games from people that don't want them or give them as a gift, and I'm just swamped. I haven't had much time for video games lately, so I've gravitated to tabletop RPGs because I can think about a plan, those in the back of my mind throughout the day. Oh, definitely, man. I spend much time thinking about role-playing games like Pocket Space. I think about that all the time. Things that I wish was in it, but I don't want it to be too big. And then, like, I've been making these preview videos, and then, like, I watch it, or while I'm doing it, all of a sudden I see a mistake, and I've got to completely redo the video. It's taking me days to make some of those preview videos because I'll be reading them, and then all of a sudden I'll see something. But yeah, my days are spent pretty much thinking about Pocket Space, or like the future of Pocket Fantasy, or the videos I've got to make for other products. I've promised some people some stuff I got to do, like video wise. One guy wants to do an interview. I've got to figure out how to do like a streaming interview. So a lot of new stuff with me delving into new, technology here, trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. But I've probably got too much time for video games. But I was telling Olaf there, I gotta just stop playing games that I've beaten, and I've beat them like hundreds of hours ago, or and play some of the games I haven't beaten yet. But yeah, it's always good to think about a role-playing game, come up with ideas, maybe incorporating some sort of adventure or something. I'm just trying to strike it hot with what's out there, like with Cyborg. That's why I've been doing some videos on that. And then most of the stuff I get, nobody really asked me this, but a lot of people, I'm certain some people got to wonder how I get these things, but my buddy's got like a killer Kickstarter addiction, and so he lets me borrow his stuff. It helps me out because there was a time where I was like, man, I'm running out of stuff. I don't have, I don't keep on buying new things. But he's completely addicted to Kickstarter. It's incredible. I do like those Dark Souls games though, man. They're awesome. For those that want to know, Sunka's Drunken Delver, I'm drinking a sparkling ice cranberry frost, 0 sugar, for the holidays. Yep, I noticed that there doesn't seem to be any actual play videos or anything for Pocket Fantasy, which I think is a real shame. It's got so much to offer for those who have found it. Oh, that's cool, Ola. Yeah, I probably should. There was supposed to be there was supposed to be a live play or an actual play, but it didn't come to fruition, which is unfortunate. Some other people were going to do it, but I guess maybe I need to step up to the bat and do that. Yeah, they're frustrating, man. They are frustrating, those Souls games, but they're beautiful when they run at a good frame rate, which of course is difficult, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where I like, you're going to go through that time where you're getting your ass beat and you're dying constantly. And you get those little bit of upgrades here and there, and then all of a sudden you can tackle that guy. And then if there's another one of the guys that are like them, you can take them out without dying. And then it's just those small little incremental upgrades and getting better and better. And then that's how it's going to go. And towards the end of the game, you're just going to be an absolute powerhouse to a degree against things that kicked your ass multiple times. So I really enjoy that aspect of it's like role-playing games. It's like OSR. It's like D&D. Yeah, I want Elden Ring 2. I want it to go on sale. I don't pay full price for games anymore. They get so many games on sale now. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm so much of a dabbler. I jump from game to game to game. And some people, they'll buy like 2 games a year and just play the hell out of them. But I'm more of a dabbler, so I just, I'll just focus. If it's one of like the Dark Souls games, I'll focus on it when I get it. But it's got to be on sale. And I usually, one of the problems too is I wait until it's like some sort of like game of the year, definitive edition, ultimate edition bullshit. And then it's got so much DLC that I'm absolutely swamped with how much of the game is. Like I picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey like a couple years ago for like $15 on one of these like Black Friday sales, and that game was so freaking huge. And I mean, I enjoyed it. It looked great. It was awesome, but it got monotonous. I just wanted it over, but it didn't take away from the amazement of the game, and that's because it had all that DLC. Yeah, they're released half-assed, half finished, and they got bugs. And I'm just gonna wait and see. Like, there are some games I support. Like, I'm a big Bethesda supporter. I didn't pick up Fallout 76 right off the bat because of how bad the launch was. But they definitely made that game better as it went on. And like the same thing with No Man's Sky. Yeah, Odyssey does. It spams you with that little busy work DLC, and it looks great. I mean, going through the different like Hades and like, you know, their version of, I can't remember what it was called. Their version of like Heaven. I mean, it was gorgeous. But I picked up like No Man's Sky like maybe 2 years after it came out, and it was fantastic. And they only made it better after I picked it up. So yeah, I mean, I just don't play full price. I mean, and it's not because that they don't deserve it. It's because my backlog is so big, and so I'm like, well, I don't need to play that right yet. Plus, I know they're gonna put it on sale, and they're gonna do DLC, and they're gonna put out a big package for it, and then I'm sitting on a huge game with everything that's done. I don't have to wait for it, and then it's so big it goes back on my backlog. It's just, ugh, makes me sick sometimes thinking about it. Shit, I got a backlog that goes all the way back to like the Nintendo 3DS games I didn't beat on there. It's embarrassing. But I guess it's a good thing to have, to be able to have all these games. But when they're selling to you so cheap, I also got a huge backlog, both video games and board games and role-playing games. Oh god, yeah, man. Board games? This last year, so we did a thing that was called No New 22, and it was, you don't buy any new board games. You play the ones you have. But unfortunately, I kept on getting board games for people who just didn't want this game. So I have a buddy who works for one of the companies that makes board games. He gets board games all the time. He was just occasionally just giving me a board game, and I'm like, it's not like I'm not going to take it. This Dark Souls box back here was just a guy who didn't want it. And I even played it. And he was like, here you go. And I look at it, and it's massive. And I was like, holy shit. And Monster Apocalypse right beside it. Another one. He didn't want that game. I've got like God Tier, I guess it's called, or God Tear. I don't know. Didn't want it, so I took it. And I'm just like so backed up. The whole reliance on DLC is why I went to collecting old Atari games and homebrew cartridges for a while, definitely. Too Drunken Delver, yes, it's from Steam Ford Games. Why do all this old game franchise? Yeah, they put them into board games, man. It's incredible. Yeah, Atari games are cool, man. I got into a big back about, I would say 20 years ago. I got into retro video games, something huge. I had hundreds of original Nintendo games. And then once I saw how much they were selling for over the last couple years, I sold them all. And I got that Super Nintendo Mini, and I modded the hell out of that thing and put all sorts of slew of games and consoles on that thing. And that thing has been an absolute game buster, man. Just dominating that thing. It was difficult to put all those games on. I spent like a whole weekend, but it's crazy. Yeah, Atari's cool. That was my first system, 2600 back in the day. 7 years old. Got pictures of me, I think, playing like the game Dolphin, which I used to really like. I used to love Yar's Revenge. That thing was awesome. Defender was great. Of course, that damn ET game. Pitfall, of course, was awesome. But yeah, Atari's cool, man. I go through, just bought the 50th anniversary collection. It's a neat game with lots. Yeah, I saw that it had just come out. It's got some cool games on there I'd like to try. I heard that it's got like the same game, like multiple versions of the same game, which I don't know. That's sometimes they do some deceptive marketing with that, but now the Atari is what I cut my teeth with, man. And like, I never had a regular Nintendo. I had a Sega Master System, which I really liked. Everybody made fun of me for it pretty much. But it had a great version of Double Dragon. Had a great version of I love the Shinobi that was on there. And then I got a Sega Genesis. So I was a bit of a Sega Genesis, Sega guy. But then I got PlayStation 1, and then from there I started getting some of the older systems, Super Nintendo, Dreamcast. Never had a Saturn, Nintendo 64. So, yeah, PlayStation 1 was just huge, man. I mean, there are tons of collections of Atari games, but this new 50th anniversary game is worth checking. That's cool. That's cool, definitely. I like some of the older collection types, like Midway's collection games. Yeah, Phantasy Star is dope. It was one I didn't have. I actually had Miracle Warriors, and I thought it was terrible at first, but then all of a sudden, like years later, after I was a kid and stuff, I tried to play it again. I was like, this game's pretty good. So, yeah, the Phantasy Star games are dope. And like Alex Kidd, I knew that Alex Kidd was just a bad attempt at doing something with, like their Mario or something. But then Sonic came out, and I was like, oh my God, Sonic is awesome. So it was like 1 and 2 for me. I don't think I picked up very many more after that. Got some cool stuff coming soon to show y'all video wise. Um, some more Cyborg stuff. Cool thing for DCC. I hate to keep on doing the same type of games all the time, but my buddy seems to order them, so I pick them up. I mean, obviously I like OSR games, so I've got some stuff for that. Stuff for Weird Frontiers. Um, I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff around here that I can still show off. They had a Master System had a great baseball game called Reggie Jackson Baseball. I played the hell out of that thing. And like I said, Double Dragon on Nintendo was ass compared to like almost the arcade version that was on the Master System. Master System had a better color palette. It could do much more vibrant colors. But I mean, ultimately, we know that Nintendo was where it was at. So, and then Sega Genesis, man, that Revenge of Shinobi blew me away. Anything with ninjas back then was just awesome. Trying to think what else. God, a Flashback I liked. Old systems are great, man. And then there's some cool new games that are retro, the way they look. There's some graphics I don't really care for. They don't look like anything that looks like an old Nintendo game. It looks like a different type of retro graphics that no system ever really made. Never didn't look like that. But like Shovel Knight has got a good Nintendo look. I like some of the Castlevanias they put out recently. Not Castlevanias, like Bloodstained. They look like they look like Nintendo games. I'll show y'all something. Let me grab something here. I got this. It's called the Hangman's Garden. It's pretty cool. It's got like some cards and stuff with it. Nice package, nice artwork. It says it's for DCC, but it's got a really cool vibe to it. So I'll be doing a video about that in the future. A bunch of crap around here, but it's fun. It's like my little cave, This is my little nerd room. Y'all see the Northman movie? I want to talk about that movie with people, but not too many people have seen it that I've talked to that I know. Man, this is going to be addicting, man. I could talk on here a bunch. You asked earlier if I play any RPGs currently. Yes, I got an old school game going, basic fantasy role playing with 3 players. This weekend, a little game con is coming up. I'll be running Alternity. That's cool. Yeah, I played basic fantasy. I played it for a lot of people. I really dug it. It was easy to teach people. Obviously, very cheap to get. People have asked me why I haven't done a video on my channel for it. And I'm like, man, there's so many videos about basic fantasy roleplay. I don't know if anybody wants to hear my take on it. It's just going to be glowing. And I'm going to be like, yeah, it's a great game. It's cheap. Go pick it up. But no, it's a very cool game. I like it a lot. I've never played Alternity, though. But I've seen it, heard about it, but never got around to play that. Talking about basic fantasy. Yeah, I was amazed at how cheap it was. So I was buying a bunch of the books and just handing them out to people when we played, and of course they never looked at the book, but that's one of the problems too, man. I don't know how y'all's players are, but I've played with people over the last 10 years that have just been absolute ass. They just don't read the book's right in front of them, don't pick it up, don't look at it. It's just incredible. DCC was the first old schoolish game I ever found. Tried to run it for a couple of friends, but the lethality and character funnel was kind of jarring for them. I understand. My buddy David, who wrote Weird Frontiers, he hated DCC whenever I ran it for him. He just didn't understand the mindset and the lethality of it. Alternity is basically TSR's final game before being gobbled up by Wizard of the Coast. Ugh. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I loved TSR back in the day when I started with role-playing games. Yeah, I'm gonna, you can see here's my second edition shelf. I'm gonna try to turn it. There's a little bit of a lag, so I won't be able to tell if you guys can see it just yet. But I love me some TSR. Second edition D&D, man, that's what I started. That's what I started with all this. Really, what I started with really kind of role-playing or fantasy stuff, game-wise, was the fighting fantasy books. I've got a whole bunch of those, but I think they're underneath something. Yeah, I have to go crawl and get them. If you look at Alternity closely, you can see a lot of concepts that found their way into D&D 3rd edition. Ah, gotcha. Definitely. Yeah, there you go. You can see all my second edition stuff. I'll just leave it right there. Like that Marvel United, I got that for like a birthday present from my buddy. I played it at a convention I just went to. Dude, Fighting Fantasy made who I am, man. Fighting Fantasy, Ian Livingstone. I mean, he just all his work. Let me see. Let me grab it. Right there, man. This book, City of Thieves. This was what did it for me. Um, this is the first one I bought, and I was sick, and my mom took me to the store to get medicine, and I saw this, and I picked it up, and that sent me down such a rabbit hole that I still am down all these years. So, love this book. Yeah, DCC is dope. It's very dope. I'm a big fan of it, obviously. Yes, it's and the art, man. The art absolutely blew me away. I've got like a couple versions. I've got like 3 versions of that one, and then I've got like one of the modern remakes of the way it looks. I've got a bunch of the other ones too. But God, those books, man, they would just take me away. I would watch. I would pretty much. Uh-oh. This message is held for review. See if these is great. Badass City. I guess because you said badass, it like held it for review. I don't know. That's my little girl there, Roblox girls. Hey, baby. Um, yeah. Trial of Champions, Starship. Oh, what was that one called? I got a whole bunch of them here. Let my borrow buy the one that's got like it's got like samurai or something in it. Oh, that's cool. I was able to I was able to on Twitter to thank Ian for how he changed me. And that was a cool moment of like I never thought I'd be able to say thank you to him. Like a mixture of like technology and being able to say like thank you um to a guy who, his work helped really change who I am. And I messed with a little bit of like the what's it called? Lone Wolf books. They were hard, but cool. So it was pretty much I watched Rankin and Bass, Hobbit. My mom would call me in. I'd be outside playing. She'd be like, The Hobbit's on, and I'd go run in there and watch The Hobbit, Rankin and Bass Hobbit. Um, I'd Fighting Fantasy, Clash of the Titans, all the Sinbad, and the pretty much any Ray Harryhausen movie that he worked on. I'd be running in to watch those. But Clash of the Titans was a big deal for me when I was a kid. Big game changer. So, just awesome. Oh, you did? You got to meet him, huh? Wow, that's great, man. I'd love to have met him. I've met some of the other guys. I met Jim Ward. I've met I met Tim Kask, Diesel, Jeff Easley, which Jeff Easley meeting him was I couldn't even express to him how great it was that I was actually able to talk to him. The art on second edition. Oh, that's cool, man. You're very lucky to have met Gary. I met his sons, Luke and Ernie, but meeting Jeff Easley was just the be all end all. He drew a dragon in my D&D book, and I would look at his art and just I lived overseas in France for 3 years when I was a kid, and I would just look at his art, and I had like the D&D cards that they did for second edition. I would just look at his art, and I was just like, oh man, you were the best. He's still to this day one of my favorite. Oh yeah, Elmore and Easley is where it's at, man. It really did. I mean, they solidified everything. I also like some other ones too, but those two guys right there were just absolutely incredible. I like Brom. Brom's awesome. I got to meet Elmore as well. I met him at Gen Con and got him to sign one of my Dragonlance books. Yeah, Keith Parkinson. I was just about to say that. Keith is incredible. Um, yep. Pocket Fantasy has now become my group's go-to for when times that our normal 5e games get canceled. That's fantastic, man. That's exactly what it was there for. My friend who's running that game absolutely loves playing your game. That's awesome. That's great. I hope that you will like Pocket Space. Roblox Girls, my favorite RPG board game. I guess she doesn't know a whole bunch about what we play, but I think she's talking mainly about role playing games. I don't know. It's a tough call. I really like second edition D&D. I hope you like Pocket Space. It's it's a different beast, and I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to be received. I thought about putting it out on Friday, on Black Friday, but I'm afraid it'll just get missed with the rush of maybe people putting stuff on there. But a lot of people maybe will show up there for for Black Friday sales. But if I don't put it on Friday, I'm gonna probably put it on Monday for like the Cyber Monday. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be a different beast, and I hope people can understand what it's trying to do, and what it can do. It just you have to help people, I think, with space stuff instead of fantasy. They know fantasy pretty well, but when it comes to space, they may need to have a little bit more help. But if you pick it up, I do appreciate it. It's only going to be $1. It's just been so much work. But that's really flattering that y'all play my game and that your friend really likes it. So I really appreciate that. So let them know deep down that it just means the world to me. That's all I really wanted, was just people to play my game and enjoy it. So, and then people, I talked to people. I just went to a convention. I talked to the Professor DM. He's got a Dungeon Craft YouTube channel. I talked to him about it. I talked to Runehammer, Brandish Gillum, who made the Index Card RPG. We had a good long talk about Pocket Fantasy, and that was pretty impressive talking to him, since he's somebody that has pretty much made it in the industry. So we'll see. We'll see how Space does. It's I've worked so much on it, but I'm very weary of putting it out there just so that you know people enjoy it as much as they have. I appreciate it, Olaf. It means a lot. Like you reaching out to me, and then a lot of other people have over the years. I mean, it's got 75 reviews for a little game like that on Draft RPG. Well, I hope you like it. I'll probably send it to you. So you can take a look, see what you think. It's just got a lot going on. But I really like the way I did the characters. I think that works. I like the way I did. I mean, obviously, like I've said in my videos, I take a lot from Traveler. You know, Traveler just does it so well. A lot of the things that you want in the game, and so you think about Pocket Fantasy, and it's able to do so much. It's able to generate in essence, it's able to generate dungeons and what's in those dungeons and the creatures in those dungeons and what loot they have, and you know, it's able to do all those things. And so I had to take that kind of mentality about how I made Pocket Fantasy and say, well, I still need to be able to create all these things for people as well. But it's more difficult with space because you've got to really be able to generate a lot of stuff. Traveler helps you do that. So I made my own kind of version of some Traveler systems. So I was watching one of your Pocket Space videos earlier. You said that it's geared more towards Star Trek and Firefly types. Or could it? Oh yeah, Star Wars could definitely do it. I just used Firefly as a reference because it involves like trade and commerce and stuff like that. But you could definitely do Star Wars with it. The freighter is going to be like a Millennium Falcon, like a stock light freighter. The Starfighter obviously is going to be like a X-wing type thing, but I think for longevity, so this is a game I think you can play a little bit longer than Pocket Fantasy, even though they both can. I think it's the Firefly, like you've got a crew and a ship, and they're all working on the ship, and being the best at what they are. So I wanted to make sure that if you wanted to play Star Trek, you could do Star Trek, Star Wars, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, whatever you wanted to do to a degree. It's just like Pocket Fantasy. I mean, we know how these games are, and you can switch them and change them and move the rules around. And so the tenements of Pocket Fantasy have to still be there. It still has to be fun. My first iteration of the space combat was simply not fun. It was just too much to keep up with, and I was like, no one's going to enjoy doing this. And I completely had to rewrite it after I thought I was pretty much done with it. And of course, I rewrote it for the better, I think. And then, I can't, I've tried to say in my videos, I can't just say, this is a Klingon. If I said this is a Klingon, you know what it is, but I don't have Klingons in there. So I've got to create a way for you to create your own creatures, your own alien species. It's a lot more of a framework and less of even though it is kind of step by step how to do some stuff, it's more of a framework for you to be able to create your own games. Do you think it's better to broaden all the possible sci-fi genres for Pocket Space? Or might it be better to focus on? Yeah, it definitely, it was something I thought about. If I was to probably focus on one, I probably would focus on Firefly, because that's more of the group dynamic, the way that heroic rerolls work, and the way that Pocket Fantasy kind of everybody works together. But they work even more in synergy in this. But really, ultimately, all I did to change the two was I left stuff. I say that, you can change the name of this. If you don't want to call it a captain, if you want to call it like a skipper or whatever, the engineer is a techie, or, Mr. Fix-It type guy, you can use whatever term you want. I just have a couple of paragraphs, which I'm going to do a video. It'll be coming up soon. Before Monday, I've got to get all the preview videos out if I'm going to put it out on Monday. It just talks about galactic exploration, saying, look, if you want to do galactic exploration, it's more military. You may start with this ship. You may not have to worry about fuel. You may not have to worry about money. And so in essence, that's all I'm saying for Star Trek. And then on the inverse side, when it comes to merchants and mercenaries, more Firefly, I'm saying, you might have to skirt around laws. These might be your ships, like the Scout or the Freighter. Revenue and trade and commerce might be something that you're into, maybe getting hired by contacts. So really that's all it is. So I didn't really focus, neither of them are actually focused on. It's just the possibilities are there for both. But yeah, I mean, it would have been easier on me probably to focus on a specific genre to a degree. It's still the same game. I still would want to put in, like, the next video I'm going to do is going to be on the system generation, like planetary system generation and the world creation. And I took a lot of stuff from Traveler from that. So like I still would have put that in there because I think you need it. I think I have to support Pocket Space way more than I did Pocket Fantasy. And I know, I had plans to do a bunch of adventures and stuff for Pocket Fantasy, but it never was going to be a big thing until everybody loved it so much, and then I wanted to help and I wanted to do whatever I could for people, for the game. Um, but this I might have to help some people out a little bit more with Pocket Space. I don't know if people will get it as good. The combat's exactly the same when it comes to the characters, so that should be easy. Um, and then you'll be able to generate your own animals. It's like this. Like I can't tell you what the name of the animal is. I can tell you a griffin or a manicore or whatever in fantasy, but like you're going to have to create the name of your alien animal or monster, species or character race. You're going to need to create the name of your planet. I can't. I can give you a generator that might help you, and you need to go online. So, the scope of it is quite large, but I'm hoping that people will like it. But this is the thing about Pocket Space. If people think I'm going to definitely listen to a lot of feedback to Pocket Space, and if something needs to be changed, I'm going to change it. That's one of the things. I worked with Pocket Fantasy too. I had a lot of feedback about Pocket Fantasy. Most of everything Pocket Fantasy has been nothing but positive. I've only had one person say they didn't like subtracting. I actually had a person say that you couldn't roll a d6 in your hand very well. 1d6 doesn't roll very well. That's no problem, bud. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I'll try to do some more streams. If you think that this is cool, you like hanging out, I could definitely enjoy the time, spending talking to people, help me think about stuff, giving me ideas. So thanks for stopping by for sure. Yeah, no doubt there, Olaf. I mean, my brain goes to a place where when I want to try to create with the game, I'm just afraid that people can't get in that same mind space. I guess that's always the problem. But if you got to run, I just wanted to try to set this up. I can talk for however long about whatever. Did you see that Northman movie? So I dug it, man. I thought it was awesome. It was. The thing is, Hollywood's so trash now with a lot of what they do. They don't see any art. I don't see any effort. I don't see any passion. I don't see any blood, sweat, and tears. Um, but yeah, you should check it out, man. Northman really blew me away. But yeah, I'll bail out too. And thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I don't know. I might start doing these if people enjoy talking to me. I'm trying to get up to those 4,000 hours, which streams supposedly help with that. So, but yeah, I'm certain it's yeah. If it's getting late for you, it's got to be like 2 o'clock now. So, go sleep, man. Get you some rest, and I'll be back on here at some point. I'll probably do like a thing that let people know when I'll be on. So, or it could just be off the top of my head when I decide to get on here. So, all right. Oh yeah, yeah. What's up? Gonna go spend some time with the family here. Do you know Them Born Games? They did 2 games called Escape the Dark Castle. Escape the Dark Castle. I don't know them. Escape the Dark Castle seems familiar. Keldon, thanks for showing up, man. On the first true live stream that I've done here. Are they pretty good games? Are they role-playing games or are they board games? Escape the Dark Castle, Escape the Dark Sector. That's fairly easy. Pretty good. Yeah, I was testing them out, man. I was having some difficulties trying to figure it all out. It's more complicated than I thought it, just like anything is. So I finally got it going. Oh yeah, I love that Fighting Fantasy artwork, man. I'll definitely check them out though. Thanks for the suggestion. So if it's got art like that, that's right up my alley. Because when I opened up City of Thieves, I was like, oh boy, that's some of the first like true fantasy art, like creative like that, like black and white type art that I'd seen. I must have been like 7 years old, maybe. Okay, cool. Definitely, I'll definitely check it out. I was just about to play more of my solo games. You talking about Pocket Fantasy? Or you got your own game? Or yeah, I like that kind of. That's what brought me to Warhammer Fantasy. I'm using Barbarians of the Ruined Earth. Highly recommend. Yeah, I've seen a lot about that game. Oh, sure, man, definitely. I'll do more streams. I mean, if I know if all my, the people that have supported the game and have, comment on my videos and stuff are going to be here and talk, I'll talk. I can ramble off at the mouth. You know that. So, yeah, take it easy. Have a good night, man. Later. So that Barbarians of the Ruined Earth, is that kind of like a Thundar but the Barbarian type thing? Is it like a future that's, you know, where the world's been kind of destroyed and then reborn? Is that how it kind of is? I need to play more solo games. I'm usually playing video games if I want to play something by myself, it seems. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Black Hack is neat, man. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Like when I did that video for the Wasted Hack, it really made me go, "Wow, that's got some cool stuff." Love Thundar, man. Thundar, best cartoon ever made, in my opinion. Just absolutely whirlwind of action. It never stops. And of course, Gamma World's dope. So that all sounds great. But Thundar, man, that thing is just so much. That's the thing, man. Back in those days when I was a kid, it was all about fantasy and cartoons had all that type of wild stuff going on and, you know, adventure, Pirates of Dark Water, and it's just a shame that nowadays it's like there was a time where it's like every cartoon I saw was just like kids walking down the hall of high school. I was like, this is ass. Like where's the magic? Where's the fantasy? Where's like Thundercats and He-Man? I mean, that's the stuff I grew up on, so I'm pretty blessed to have grown up with that stuff. I mean, I'm certain this stuff is good too in its own way, but a lot of that stuff really influenced stuff I like, and who I am. Like I said, Rankin and Bass cartoon, I've seen that probably maybe, I don't know, 80 times. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I used to love Centurions. I used to love Mask, the cartoon Mask, Jason and the Wheeled Warriors. Like I said, Dark Water, Parts of Dark Water, the Centurions. I think I said that. Uh, the Herculoids, Hanna Barbera stuff was awesome to me. Um, GI Joe, of course, Transformers. But back then there was just so much of that stuff. Today you've got such a fandom for everything, but back then, I mean, you could just the next show is some awesome show with people that were Silverhawks or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or who knows what. You know, it was just the next thing had some cool Brave Star. Who knows what would be next? And so, yeah, we really had it good. Hell, I'd watch GoBots too back in the day. That shit was crazy. You play any video games or anything there, Keldon? Yeah, I'm 45. I don't know how old you are. Most of my viewers are about around that age. I can see from my analytics is like 30s and 40s, 50s. Probably because of the OSR stuff that I do. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I used to play World of Warcraft back in the day. City of Heroes was cool. I messed with that a little bit. World of Warcraft, man, that used to be my life back when I didn't have kids. Me and the wife were just talking about how we'd get up 16 hours World of Warcraft. We'd get pizza. I mean, we'd wake up World of Warcraft, go to sleep World of Warcraft. I didn't really care too much for like the Witch King. I mean, the Witch King expansion looked great, but that was pretty much, or maybe it was Cataclysm. I can't remember. I got out of them by then. Yeah, City of Heroes was cool. I've messed with a little bit of like DC Online, but I know City of Heroes has got its big, big fans. I know they were hurting pretty bad when that game went down. That's what sucks about MMOs. I've got a lifetime account to Lord of the Rings Online. It's just my computer doesn't really handle it too well because it's about 13 years old now. I actually got the computer to play Lord of the Rings Online, and I really like that game a bunch. Yeah, I play a lot of Xbox and stuff like that. Mainly like third person type games like Assassin's Creed. Um, Fallout. That's what I was talking to Olaf about. A lot of Fallout, Diablo, Dark Souls games, Skyrim. God, Skyrim. All the Elder Scrolls games. Skyrim is like one of those games I look at and I'm just like, I hear you calling me again, you bastard. I've already played you for like 500, 600 hours, and yet the pool is there. I appreciate you stopping by, man. I knew I was probably making a fool of myself trying to do these test videos, but it's difficult to do it. And I got to give kudos to these people who make a bunch of like graphics and stuff on their streams. That's not easy to do. That takes some work beforehand. I've just got to spend the time to learn it. I've been hesitant. Let me see how this light does if I turn it on. Ugh. Yeah, I played a bunch of MMOs, man. I played a bunch. Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft. Um, I played EverQuest. That was my first one, of course. I enjoyed that. Um, and then kind of the fly by night ones that showed up here and there, I'd mess with, especially if they were free to play. A lot of people foo-fooed free to play, but I was like, I ain't got the money to sit around waiting to play some MMO. I needed something that I can play quick. Oh yeah, Star Wars Galaxy. I never played that, but I know that was also much beloved. World of Warcraft is funny. It's like everybody thinks that they're all, years later they were trying to come up with the something that could go against World of Warcraft after, it's like 10 years later or something. I'm like, people have moved on. They don't have money just waiting to give you that they were going to give to World of Warcraft. It doesn't exist. I've got kids now. I didn't have kids back then. My life's changed. Like, there's no mystical, magical money that's just waiting to be gotten that was supposed to go to World of Warcraft. People have got different lives now. But it was some great times. It was very, very memorable. You know, I didn't care for it as much when it went to more of the smaller raids. I like the big 40-man raids. The guild I was in, it felt like a real accomplishment, like we were serious, you know. So it kind of it lost a little bit of its luster when it went to the smaller groups. And then I really hated the dungeon finder. That just made the game completely not personal at all. You just run in there, spam a bunch of buttons, and kill a bunch of stuff. But I still got buddies that still play it. They've been playing it ever since. They never stopped. So they love that World of Warcraft. Well, look, bud, I'm gonna bounce out, man. I'll be on here some more. I'll start doing some more. This is fun. I like talking to people. I can ramble at the mouth, so um, I like hearing people's opinions. Let me bounce ideas off of them, what they think about things, and especially when Pocket Space comes out, let people take a look at it and see what they think, and I'll try to do my best to help them along that journey. So I'm gonna bounce out, and I appreciate you stopping by and all the support, with the game and whatnot, and the channel. So, all right, man. You have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you on the next stream.